So I was first introduced to Fiona through a mutual friend about a year and a half ago, and I really enjoyed listening to her story because she'd had quite a tough journey with IVF and was basically told by several clinics that she might as well just give up, that she couldn't, have a second child. It just wasn't going to happen. And IVF clinics were like closing doors on her. And then she met Fiona, and then within 6 months she got pregnant and went on to have a very happy baby. So when I heard this story, kind of obviously made me stop my tracks, thinking, wow, this is somebody I need to obviously be introduced to, and sort of learn a bit more about the program. And so that's kind of where it started. And I had a sort of a chat to kind of Fiona, and one of the first things that she brought to my attention was, kind of, let's look at your immune system, because I myself had been out to an IVF clinic and I wasn't feeling particularly that great at the time. And I decided, kind of that before doing any more IVF clinics, perhaps it was better just to take a sort of step back, have a look at my own sort of health and get that more to an optimal level. And I guess that's really the crunch point of meeting kind of Fiona, because, so what Fiona really kind of brought to my attention was really trying to make me a better version of me. So stopping doing IVF, moving across, not only that, but one of the things I'd noticed looking at IVF clinics, and I found this is where it got really interesting, is they just treated you more like a conveyor belt, so if it was one on, one off kind of thing, they weren't delving, well, not all of them, I know some of them do, but not all of them were delving into your immune system, kind of they weren't exploring your health. And so I wasn't actually feeling well when I was doing my IVF. So I guess at the time it didn't make sense for me to do more. But then having gone to Fiona, she then picked up quite a few things that, weren't where they should be. And so it would just been a complete waste of money. And I could have continued down the IVF route and spent a hell of a lot of money, but thank goodness I didn't. And I listened to Fiona and I came on board, and I haven't looked back, to be honest, since. Both me and my fiance have appreciated the uniqueness of what Fiona offers. It's a very, very refreshing approach. Even now, going forward, her good practices that she's introduced to me will stay with me, well after having children. And when I say, I'll just give an example, is just eating better, so eating organically, kind of just being aware of the environment and eliminating those toxins. And it's just amazing, just actually when you look around, just how many other toxins that you're taking into your body. And this is what the course really does allow you to look at, sort of how you can eliminate all of that. And that also includes stress. And, that was another thing I probably didn't appreciate, just how stressed I was as well. And that, of course, has a real negative impact on your body. So again, this was another blockage that Fiona was able to kind of really help me kind of get on top of. So yeah, I mean, in my eyes, she teaches you to be a better version of yourself. And that to me is just gold. And I wish this knowledge was something that was taught to me at a much younger age. And actually, funny enough, speaking to quite a few other clients of Fiona's, they all kind of said the same, in that we all felt that we'd met Fiona a long, long time ago. The other thing about this, okay, if I'm looking at it from a positive and a negative, and why people would analyze it, go, or why wouldn't I? It's going into the unknown. So when you look at your packages and things like that, I guess some people look at that, and I know someone whose husband is like, oh, that's quite a lot of money, and we don't know anything about this program, blah blah blah. And so actually people look at it, oh no, that's actually too expensive, and blah blah, we're better just do the IVF. But actually the irony is that if you do your homework and you talk to people like myself who've been on the program and understand it a bit more, it actually is cheaper than doing IVF.
It's such a private journey for so many women. And I'm so grateful for the women that do speak out. especially nowadays. In fact, this year, 2020, has been a year where a lot of women are saying, I don't want other women to suffer. I want women to know this information, because if I only knew years ago, my life would have been easier. So there's a lot of compassion for other women, and they're not focusing on their ego, but focusing on how can I help others, because it can be such a lonely.
That's such a nice way to put it, Fiona. I couldn't agree more heartily. And I was just actually, there's someone else that, you know, I'm kind of keen to have a chat to, who's been introduced to me, and I'm hoping I can introduce her to you. I think that's exactly it, is us ladies have to kind of stick together, and, you know, sort of you feel empowered just by the knowledge that, you know, you've given us. And so absolutely, quite rightly, I want to be able to, you know, sort of share that with other people as well, and spread the word, because, you know, so this is, you know, as I said for the beginning, this is a very, very refreshing program, and there's nothing quite like it. And I guess until you're actually in this place, you actually know about it. And even then, do you know about it? Because I certainly didn't know this as I was growing up, this of fads. And I think also just looking at the environment and how much that's changing and how much that's going to have an effect on you as well. And people don't stop to think, because they've had such busy lives. And I think that's a really key there is we're all trying to achieve so much, and particularly women in this world now, we're all high flyers, or, you know, sort of, we're all trying to achieve, you know, the career, the juggling the family, you know, and the home life, that you actually forget to kind of, what's the most important thing is to focus on your health. And we often put that as the very last, when it actually should be the first thing, because the very first thing is your health, and then everything else follows. I just hope that my journey gives people a lot more hope and belief that it really can happen. And, you know, I'm no spring chicken. I'm in my, so the odds were definitely against me. You know, I was told I had a chance of getting pregnant, and that my chances were 1 to 2%. So I am living proof that you can do it.